Hey, it's Gino here from Real Everyday English. Join me in this week's lesson for some British English listening practice. Let's do this. Happy Sunday, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me in this week's video. So as I said in the intro, this week's video is going to be a listening activity. So basically I'm going to waffle onto the camera and you can listen and practice your comprehension. Now what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and speak to the camera as if I'm speaking to another English native speaker, because as soon as I get on camera I tend to go into automatic teacher mode when I start speaking really clearly and a little bit more slowly, because usually I'm explaining things on this channel, trying to teach you things in English, so it's very important that you understand what I'm saying. But today, once I start talking about the topic, I'm going to talk more relaxed and more natural, and let's see how much you can pick up. So as I've told you before on this channel, I live in a place called Wigan, which is right near Manchester in the northwest of England. The accent here is really thick, but to be honest with you, I don't really have that much of a thick accent. I think a lot of that has to do with my job, because when I'm speaking in meetings and stuff, I have to really curb my accent down and speak more formal, more politically correct. Well, maybe politically correct's not the correct saying. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be speaking about today, is my job. So, I'm a quality control engineer for a company that produces fire-resistant glass. And we have two factories that produce two different products. The first factory produces a cuttable product. So we make big stock sheets of fire-resistant glass, sell them to stockists, and then the stockists cut them up into the customer size orders and ship them out. And basically the production process in that factory is we buy in float glass, big sheets of float glass from the glass mill. Then what we do is we put it through a wash, inspect it, and apply a double-sided tape all the way around the edge. We then stick two pieces of glass together using that tape. And then once that process is finished, we open up the glass at one end and we pour in there kind of a resin, which is a mix of 2 or 3 chemicals. We pour the resin in, then we seal the top. We put it through a roller so it rolls out all even and smooth. Then it goes in the oven. Then once it comes out of the oven, we put it back on the line, give it a wash and inspect it. And we inspect it to make sure that it meets our quality criteria before we send it out to our customers. So that's the first factory. Now the second factory is a little bit more complicated, the product we produce there. So the second factory produces a type of fireglass which is produced to customer size order, and it is toughened. So the glass, once you've made it, you can't cut it, because toughened glass is, as soon as you break toughened glass or it gets a little indentation or cut in it, it just explodes. It's like your car windshield. That is made of toughened glass as well. So what we do there is we buy toughened glass in from suppliers, already cut to the size that we need it. We feed it through a machine, it gets washed, it gets inspected. Then this is different because this product can have multiple layers of glass and multiple layers of fire resistant interlayer inside it. So we feed, say we're making a piece of glass and the end product has 4 pieces of glass inside it. So if it's got 4 pieces of glass, that means it will have 3 cavities. So we send through the first piece of glass. It gets washed, it gets inspected, we make sure there's nothing wrong with it, no scratches or anything like that. Then it goes into this machine that applies like a primary seal all the way around the edge. So it applies a seal all the way around the edge of the glass. That piece of glass goes into the press. So we repeat that process with the next 3 pieces of glass. It gets pressed together, and then when it comes out, basically what you've got is like a big glass sandwich with pieces of seal in between. We then apply a secondary seal, and there is a little hole left where there's no seal, and that is where we pour the fire resistant interlayer gel into the actual glass. So we fill it with the gel, and when we fill it, the gel is actually still white. We put it in the oven for 24 hours, and when it comes out, it's crystal clear. you can see straight through the glass. It's just absolutely crystal clear. It then gets QC checked, and then it gets sent out to our customers. Now, my job as a quality control engineer there is there's a few different aspects to my job. So the first one would be to sort out production problems. So when we get defects in the glass at final quality, it's my job to look at that defect, find the root cause, and put an action in place to stop it from happening again. So that's one aspect of the role. Another aspect of the role is dealing with customer complaints, and I follow a similar kind of process with that as well. So when a customer complaint comes through, I'll have a look at it, decide whether we're at fault or not. If we're at fault, then we'll either remake the glass or credit the customer, whichever they want. But I also look, so when we get defects through customer complaints, I also go through the same process of looking into why it happened, finding out the root cause, and putting actions in place to stop it from happening. So that's that. Another part of my role is to place claims on suppliers and control that process. So if we buy glass from somebody and that glass is no good, then it's my job to fill out the necessary paperwork and forward that on to the supplier. So then the supplier can either provide us with new product or credit us, whichever we want or whichever we see fit. Another big part of my job is producing reports, KPI reports, for top management, which show our right first time scores, on time deliveries, things like that, the amount of defects we've had. I break down the defects by root cause and by type of defect, and spin all kinds of graphs and all pretty looking pie charts for the management, so we can all sit there in meetings once or twice a week and talk about what we're doing to sort our production problems out, and talk about also what we can do to continually improve our process going forwards. Another big part of the job is performing supplier quality audits. So this involves me going to visit our suppliers and auditing their processes and making sure that they're doing what they say they need to do. Also helping them to improve the production capability and stuff like that. So if I see things that I think can be improved, or ideas that I've seen before that we use that I think could help them, I pass that information on. And once I've done these reports, obviously I need to write pretty reports and issue that to top management again. And the last part of my job I'm going to explain is it's my job to look after the quality management system and make sure that the quality management system is suitable for the main objectives of the business. You can see I'm outside today. I'm actually shooting this video outside. It's the first time I've shot a video outside, and that's because it's been winter here in the UK and the weather's been horrible. But as you can see, we've got some sun and some blue skies, so I thought I'd get out here today and just enjoy that. If you've got any questions about anything that you've heard me say today, or you didn't understand, or I spoke too fast, then let me know. Pop your questions down below in the comments, and I'll be happy to explain anything that I've said in further detail. See you people in the next video. Bye bye for now. Ciao.